Hello, everyone. I'm here today with the two candidates of the Republican Party in Palm Beach, Jason and Ron. And we're going to see the perspective of the Latin people here in Palm Beach that can vote, can register to vote. And my question for Jason is easy to register to becoming a voter. So someone can go online and just register to vote this election. It's still time.
It's too late to register to vote for the August 20th primary, but you can vote for the general.
So you just running for this August 20.
Absolutely. Our race is over August 20th.
So when do people know that has to register to vote? Because I don't know. Is it public? Is go to the TV and is social media?
You can register anytime. You can go to the Supervisor of Elections website and you can register anytime. It's just a matter of you have to have there's a certain deadline to be able to vote in the primary versus voting in the general election.
So in this ballot,
yes.
So it's a long ballot. I see the model. Is it long? What you guys gonna be in?
Right. We're going to be on the ballot on the August the 20th. Now, we're also on the ballot for those people that received an absentee ballot, which went out about a month ago. And so our names were on the ballot. And so the point is that the votes will be counted on August the 20th, and the winner of the primary will be the candidate, because this is an inter-party election. Only the Republicans can vote for this office or for any other office. It is not open to Democrats or to independents.
Okay.
So right now, the primary is the election
for Republicans.
For Republicans.
Ron, talk about yourself. You've been running for a long time. So talk a little bit about you.
All right. Well, I'm Ron Howard, by the way, and I've lived in Palm Beach County since 1979. And I'm very familiar with Palm Beach County. I'm familiar with the issues. I'm familiar with the people that live here. And I wanted to run for the Republican State Committeeman because I had been previously an elected county commissioner in Palm Beach County. Now, back then, county commissioners were elected countywide, not from a little district. Even though you represented a district, you had to run throughout the entire county.
So it's a 7 district in Palm Beach?
Well, it's 5 back then, but now they've cut it down to 7, increased it rather to 7. So now they run from little districts and they have geographical boundary lines. But this office that Jason and I are running for, the Republican State Committeeman, is a county-wide position within the Republican Party.
And in your major, what are you going to do to this election? Is running for 2 years or is it 4 years?
It's a 4-year office.
4 years.
It's a 4-year office.
What's your major? What are you going to do? This is 4 years. What?
Well, I'm interested in going to the committees that occur. The state committee meets once every 3 months or so.
Okay.
And they set an agenda and set policies for the party statewide. Okay. So my main interest is to do a number of things. But first thing I wanted to address is this election system that we have. This early voting and absentee ballot voting has become extremely confusing. And a lot of people are very annoyed with it because they really just don't know how many elections they have to go through. There's actually, Jason and I have to go through 3 elections: absentee ballots, early voting ballots, and on the election day.
So was there many candidates to run into those 3 elections?
Well, you have people that can vote during this whole time period.
Wow.
So it's like 6 weeks. I mean, it's a long time. And so election day is the election, all right, August the 20th. So that's one thing that I'd like to address when I go to the state meetings, is to see what we can do to change the state law to make things a little bit more understandable and a little more concise.
So, Jason, what about you? What's triggered you to becoming a candidate, and what are you going to do if you get elected this 4 years?
Okay. So my name's Jason Kulp. I'm running for Palm Beach County Republican State Committeeman as well. You can see more about me at my website. It's votekulp.com. I've been a member of the Republican Executive Committee as a precinct committee man for a couple years now. And the state committee man sits on the board of the Republican Executive Committee and acts as a bit of a leadership role within the political infrastructure. And so what I'd like to do is be that conduit with the actual voters and actually recruiting people into the party. And we've got about, I'd say, roughly 800 precincts in Palm Beach County. And we've got, if I had to guess, I'd say 300 members of the REC. So, we could triple the membership of the REC easily if we can find the right people and get people in the door that are interested and motivated. And that's how we're gonna be more effective. Getting solid relationships with people on the ground and getting people out to volunteer for campaigns, finding good candidates to run for good offices, and getting behind those people when they're running. Now, as Ron said earlier, we can't endorse Republicans in a primary if they have an opponent. But once you get through the primary, then we're full on behind the Republican lineup for the general election. So that's the goal, is to get strong Republicans elected and get the full force of the ground party behind them.
So, if I may interject here.
Yeah.
Even though Jason and I are competing for this one office, Jason and I have agreed, and this is the first time it's ever happened, very first time, we have agreed to work together to see to it that all the Republicans, from the president all the way down to the precinct level, get elected. This has never happened before.
So you guys making history now.
So we shook hands. If we do it again,
that's great. You see this?
And we're going to work together to see to it that our Republican people get elected. And this is where we go to party building, and we have a whole agenda of things to do to enhance the participation of the public within the Republican Party.
So if it's 270,000 Republican registered in Palm Beach, how you guys can talk to the Latin legal people that can vote to becoming a Republican, to switch from Democrat to a Republican? What you guys can say to the Latin people to do the switch?
Yeah, and a lot of them may not be Democrats. They might be independents. They might be NPAs.
Yeah, I don't know exactly. Yeah, we don't know the data.
And so I just received a text from Lydia Maldonado. She's the head of the Latino Republican Club in Palm Beach County, and her website states that 31% of the Hispanic community are registered as Republicans. So we would like to certainly increase that number. And, I believe that there are a lot of people in that middle ground that they're fed up with both parties and they don't want to align themselves with the party. And I can certainly respect that. But the reality is we have a two-party system in politics. And the only way to change things is to get into one of the parties and get involved. So, if somebody considers themselves a diehard Democrat and they want to remain a Democrat, I completely respect that. And I think they should get involved with the Democrat Party so they know what's going on. And I'm sure there's some people that are in the Democrat Party in the Latino community that we could convince to switch. I think the target is to go recruit the people that are in the middle, the NPAs, the independents.
And how are we going to do that?
If I may, how that can happen, how we can get people involved, say within the Republican Party, is to encourage Latino people to run for political office at the county level, the state, at the precinct level, and in the municipal elections. Because that is the only way that the public can see that Latino people can have a say and a participation within the Republican Party. They must be willing to run. Now, that brings up a whole host of problems, because how do you run a campaign? You're on your own, right?
Yeah,
basically.
That's the problem.
And we're raising money.
And I see it's too expensive to run a campaign.
Yes,
I think it's probably the $2,000 or $3,000 a day that you needed to run a campaign.
Yeah, it can be expensive for sure. I think, the big thing is the current registered Republicans in the Latino community that want to become more involved. I would encourage them to reach out to either one of us, or they can they can Google Palm Beach County Republican Executive Committee. The website is actually pbcgop.com, and you can join the Republican Executive Committee. That is the most kind of ground level grassroots. Like I am actually going to go get involved in the Republican Party, and that's what I did when I moved here because I wanted to get involved, and I've met so many amazing people, and I've learned so much about politics at the ground level. It's been very, very positive. And now there's been some political drama in there, but you're going to have that no matter what.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, you're going to have that. So I think the more Latino Republicans that we recruit into the Republican Executive Committee, or just getting involved in other active clubs, then we can start trying to get independents converted. Going out and hosting events and educating independents.
That's where we need education, because the impression that we have as a Latin say politicians just promise. They just promise, promise, and never deliver it. That's why people are not even gonna go out to vote.
Right.
So how we can change that?
Well, I'll tell you, and this is not a problem for Latino people, it's a problem for the public in general.
Right.
Yeah.
Is that the politicians say things on the campaign trail, but then when they get into office, should they get elected, boom, they do a flip. They become somebody else again.
What's the reason why people changing like that?
Because they're afraid to challenge. That's the reason why. So, for example, if you're a conservative and you think that the budget is too high in Palm Beach County, then you're going to have to fight with the other commissioners to make sure that the budget gets reduced. Now, I was fortunate in the last year to get all 7 county commissioners to vote to reduce the millage rate for our taxes. But that was not easy because I had to get Democrats to join in on this. But that doesn't mean that next year, a next group of office holders rather wouldn't raise the taxes again. So it's a hard thing to.
If I could pipe in on that as well, and they didn't reduce the millage rate enough because everybody's taxes were increased. I mean, so they didn't do what they were supposed to do.
But now it's the insurance too. The insurance is ridiculous.
Oh,
right now.
Yeah, it's absolutely insane.
So is anything about the state can do with the insurance? Or,
there's people working on it. I mean, we've got some candidates that are running for office that, that's part of their platform. It's obviously a tough situation. If there's anything I can do to push legislators or local elected officials or get advice from them as to how we can help, I'll certainly be doing that. But it's a big issue, and I think it's something the legislature is definitely dealing with.
So if you guys get elected, Ron DeSantis still another 2 years?
Yeah, he's what, till 26?
In 226,
22? Yeah, so he's still 26.
So you think that he's going to run for government or going to try to becoming a president candidate?
No idea.
Yeah, so
No idea.
If you guys get elected, you guys going to have the majority on.
Well, we'll have a majority at the state legislative level.
Yeah.
All right? We have the governor, the state senate, the state house.
So it's better for them, for the
So
Republicans.
we have a lot of real clout on the state level. The question is bringing it back to Palm Beach County so that the people here can benefit from reductions. Now, just to chime in a little bit about the tax increases. What happened, Jason, was that the property appraiser reevaluated the properties up, and so the people got, even with the millage rate reduction, the taxes still went up.
Yeah.
Now, if we go into a recession, which I believe we're on the cusp of going into, I see businesses are really starting to hurt. Then we're going to be faced with a dilemma where the property taxes are high, the county payroll is high, everything is high, and then there's not going to be enough money coming in to fund it all. So either they cut the expenditures at the county level or they raise taxes again, even in a recession.
Because I think it's coming recession because the commercial real estate. A lot of commercial real estate is not going to be able to refi. They're going to maybe get a foreclosure. It's going to be like a domino effect.
Yes.
And can be really bad here for West Palm Beach. So what are your thoughts about that, Jason?
Well, I think we're definitely on the brink of a recession if we're not already in a recession. I mean, it's obviously, in my lifetime, this is probably one of the toughest economic cycles I've experienced or, looking around. what other people are experiencing. But I do have confidence that Donald Trump is going to win in November, and I do believe that that's going to bring a lot of confidence back to the American people.
So they're going to bring you hope.
Absolutely, and well, not to mention, I think it's just good. I think that's going to turn this economic situation around. Now, if he doesn't win, then we're in a world of hurt.
Oh my God,
We're in a world of hurt.
it's going to be crazy.
Yeah.
So Ron, what do you have to say to the Latin here in Palm Beach? Why they going to vote on you? Why people going to vote in you?
Well, I've had experience dealing with the Latino community here in Palm Beach County. When I was a county commissioner, I helped people get elected at the municipal level and also within the Republican Party and various parties who had a Hispanic background. But the question I see is just a general one for the whole population is they really just don't trust politicians. They don't even like politicians, as a matter of fact. And if you're running for office, say, I'm not a politician, that means you are a politician. So, I mean, who do you believe? And that becomes a real dilemma. But I think with the Latino people, I think the more they blend in with the party platform and the ideas of the party, the more they'll find influence within government. That's what I truly believe. And that's why I say, encourage Latino people to run for political office. You can join clubs, you can have discussion groups and what have you. But when you run for office and you win, now you're in a position to do something.
What about you, Jesse? Why people going to vote on you? What's going to trigger to vote in you?
Well, I mean, I think I've got a track record of service. I spent 4 years in the Marine Corps out of high school. I was a police officer for 12 years. I'm a family man. I've got 3 adult kids. I'm a small business owner. I've been a proud Trump supporter since he announced in 2015, 2016, whenever that was. And I've got a history of bringing people together. I'm in a relationship business. I like to bring people together, and like Ron and I have discussed, we're going to work together to get Republicans elected in November. But also what I'm going to do as soon as I win, if I do, is start getting people recruited towards the REC. And I would encourage anybody who's listening today, you can come as a guest. You come as a guest and check it out, and get to meet a couple people. And then sometimes like before I signed up, I went as a guest a few times. I kind of observed, met a few people. But I would like to work with the Latino community because I think the Latino values and the Republican values are very synonymous. It's family, it's faith, it's freedom, it's financial freedom, and I think that it's a largely untapped community I think we could bring a lot of Latinos into the party, and I think it would be very helpful for the Republican Party and the Latino community.
If people have a question, how they can communicate with you? They got a phone number, web page? What's your social media?
So they can find me on Facebook, just my name, Jason Kulp. I do have a political campaign page, but my regular Facebook's probably a little bit easier. They can go to my website. It's www.votekulp.com. You can email me through there. My phone number's on there, and so they can reach out to me any way they want.
What about you, Ron? How do people find you? Yeah.
Reaching me is real easy. Just call the Republican Party and they'll give you my telephone number. You don't have to go online. You don't have to do anything. Just give them a call. They'll give you my number, and I'll certainly return every call. And that is a thing that I've always been able to do over the years, and why I've been successful is anybody communicates with me, I report back to them. I never skip anybody. That's a real asset because people want to get a call back. They don't feel people are listening to them. So I do return phone calls or emails, and I do talk to people.
Excellent. Jason, anything else to say?
Yeah, I would encourage listeners to check out Lydia Maldonado's website.
Okay.
Like I said, she's hosting a grand opening Monday at 6 p.m. of a Latino Republican campaign office. And her website is latinosrepublicanos.gop.
Do you speak a little bit of Spanish, Jason?
I studied Spanish in college. Mi español es no bueno.
Okay.
Un poquito. Let me see what the actual website this is. It's latinosrepublicanospalmbeach.com.
Okay.
latinosrepublicanospalmbeach.com.
So it's going to be in Lake Worth.
It is going to be in Lake Worth. The address, I think I texted you the address. I don't have it right in front of me here. let me pull it up. It's where are we at? I've got so many texts that I'm just like trying to scroll through here. Trying to read
He's looking it up.
He's looking it up.
He'll find it.
It's been busy. All right, it's going to be at 3355 Lake Worth Road, Suite 7.
Okay.
And that's going to be Monday at 6 o'clock. I'm going to be there, and I know a couple other people are going, and it should be a cool event. So if anybody wants to come out,
Yeah,
it'd
of
be great.
course. So I think I'm gonna go. So just to check it out. So if people would you like to go with me to contact me so we can go together? That's gonna be amazing because we can compare. That's why we're here. We can compare which one is good. How we gonna see it, the whole platform. So how we can vote.
Absolutely.
So what's gonna be better for the Latin community here in Palm Beach?
Okay.
So Ron, what about you? Anything else to say? Anything else?
Well, I'm going to repeat myself when I say that the Latino community is not a separate organization. They're part of the big group. All right. And I think the more that the Republican Party reaches out and says to Latinos, you have values that we have. Let's share them. Let's run for office and tell the world that what you believe in and run under the Republican banner and you'll get elected. And that I can guarantee is that you'll get a reception here within the Republican Party. It's not just a party of the rich. It is the party of people who want to be able to affect local politics and to have an impact at the local level as well as the national one. But all our politics anymore is all the presidential and very little going down the ballot. But that's what I would advocate, and I would say it again and again and again. Latinos, run for office, run under the Republican banner, and you will be received here and encouraged to run.
What about you, Jason?
No, I agree. I agree with everything he just said. But I think the politics, the local politics is one thing that's been overlooked for a very long time, and that's kind of why we're in this detriment that we are in right now, because everybody pays attention to the national media and they pay attention to the national races, and they don't know
anything about the local,
anything about who's running locally, and that it's so important because if you look back at what happened during COVID. A lot of those lockdowns, mask mandates, all that stuff, that was all enforced by your local politicians, your local school board.
I was amazed. My kid was in the high school, Boca High, and when did they get shut down? It was a crazy tough for the kids. And they even go to the prom or anything like that.
Right.
It was like they are frustrated. And after 1 year, they opens up everything. And I was thank you God because we in the Florida state was open. Because previous I live in Boston, Massachusetts, everything was closed, and it was completely disaster.
Right.
And I really encourage everyone that's seeing this video to get involved, go to vote for you, whatever you can vote to be able to be free.
Absolutely.
Right. I think this is more important thing when you become a citizen is the right to vote. I think this is the best thing ever to become an American citizen.
Absolutely.
You'll be able to vote. Can you imagine that?
Yeah.
You can change things.
We all hope that people do vote, but when people vote and they don't see results on the other end, that the politicians are turning and not promising one thing and delivering, nothing, that becomes a problem. Now, you mentioned Massachusetts, where they have very good school systems because they're local. One of the things here in Palm Beach County, and I'm not going to go off on the school board, but the point is this is a huge county, and it's one school district. It should be divided up into maybe 7 districts, whereas the people in Lake Worth or Boca or Wellington or wherever would have their own school board.
Yeah, because I see it. My clients, I see they would like to be Boca, Wellington, because the school system, they're always looking for the school system. Say, we're looking online, this is a AAA school, this is a AAA, the other school is not. So that's why I would like to be here. So I don't know what's going to go on the school board, but and so we're going to see in this election. So this is August 20.
Yep.
Is the primaries for the Republican.
Yes.
So you guys should vote. If you can't vote, if you not be vote, so let's go working for you, vote to the next time.
Yep.
So every 4 years you're running?
Well, this is a 4-year seat. So if I'm elected, I'm in that position for 4 years. Whether I will run again for it or not, I have no idea. So my commitment to the people of Palm Beach County, and I've said this in a couple speeches, is if I win, I'm going to work for 4 years as a state committee man to recruit as many people into the party as I can, vet strong Republicans to run for office, support Republicans to run for office, help fundraise for Republicans, and just really affect change at the local Republican Party. There a lot of times people will use this seat as a springboard to something else. And I've already had people come up to me and say, "Oh, you should run for Senate in 2 years." I don't want to run for Senate. Yeah, I don't want to do that. I like this position because I think it suits me, and I like I feel like I can actually affect some change. So I'm going to commit that I'm going to do this for 4 years. And I don't know what comes after that. I have no plans after that. So it's a 4-year commitment, and I may be on the ballot again in 4 years for it. I may not.
Ron?
Well, one of the things that I've been very successful at, and one of the reasons I'm running for this particular seat within the Republican Party, is that I have a track record of winning, number one. Number two, getting things accomplished. Now, we talked about various issues here about the Latino community coming into the Republican Party, but I do believe that one of the ways that we can increase participation is to localize more than we have. So within the Republican Party, we have so-called districts where we have some leaders of the districts, and that they're supposed to reach out to get people to come in that are living in their little area. But I think we need to increase that and fund that to get more participation at not just the county level, but at the level of the city, the municipalities, and the areas of the county that just feel out of it. And so that's what I will try to do as the state committee man. And being a state committee man, I have access to the state senate, the state legislature, and to the governor's office, where we can, in effect, legislation to implement at the local level.
So, guys, we have a few minutes to go over to finalize this show. And you guys have anything to improve, whatever you say to get votes, because you guys need a lot of votes. I think it's 22,000 votes.
Yeah,
to get elected.
I would say so.
It's kind of really hard for 22,000 people go to the ballot and vote. Is a hard job.
Yeah, right. Yeah. No, it's been a like he said, it's a county-wide campaign, so it's been a lot of work. I'm ready to wind this thing down. I've had a lot of fun, but I'm ready to wind this thing down and August 20th be here. And
he's right here. He's right here in the corner.
Wherever the chips fall, let them fall, and whatever happens. I feel like I've ran a very good, comprehensive campaign. I've worked hard, but I would also encourage people. Early voting starts tomorrow, and there are 23 early voting locations. So you have early voting from tomorrow until the 18th. So if they don't want to wait till the 20th, they can go to any one of the 23 early voting locations and cast their ballot.
Okay, that's tomorrow. Great. Yeah, excellent. So, guys, we're going to be finished this show, and probably going to invite Jason again for the restate. And I hope everyone can vote this election, and we're here to help the community to grow. Okay. Right, Ron?
Yes, indeed.
Absolutely.
Jason?
Thank you.
So thank you. I see you guys in the next show. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.